everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's that time of the month again. This month went by so quickly, but let's shop my stash. I have my little trusty dusty basket over here. Primer first, as always. And I think this month, I actually want to try and get some more use out of this Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smoothing Blur Drop foundation. I'm not entirely sure what I'm in the mood for. I haven't really been wearing a ton of foundation. I haven't used this for a long time actually, and this is one from Primark. And it is just an illuminating foundation. So I think I might try that out for the month. Concealer, it's a tough one. I think I might actually try something I haven't worn for a really long time. And where is it? I have one in mind. Don't know if this is going to work, but this is the NYX Bear With Me concealer. It is slightly too light for my skin tone, so I don't get a lot of use out of it, but I think we could try and make that work with maybe a light dusting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't need a setting spray right now because I have one in my everyday makeup drawer. Lip prep, let's go for this Makeup Revolution Roll Baby. Lipstick, again, I want something neutral. Maybe I should use this. I haven't used it for a really long time, so maybe we'll throw that in. Coming down to this little drawer over here with all my powders and stuff, I'm also just going to grab a lip liner, and I think this one right on top will do. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon lip pencil in the shade, I think, Chestnut. Powder is always a tough one for me, but I think I might use this. It's hard to see right now, my lighting is so bad, but this is the Glam translucent powder, and it's called Baked Glow Setting Powder. I think I might use that for a bit. It is quite old. Bronzer, let's throw this in. I haven't used it for a while, and it's very old. It's the Urban Decay Naked Flush Strip. It also has a blush in there, but I think I want to try a different blush. I think I want to go with this one over here, which is the Sephora Colorful Blush, and this is in the shade Fascinated. I want to use a correlating blush, so let's try this one. This is the Catrice Blush Affair Liquid Blush, and I think the shade is called like Orange Fizz. I was going to say Apparel Spritz, but let's use this contouring stick, which is double-ended, and I think that's it for this drawer. The last drawer over here, we have all my eyeshadows, like you have seen in my previous video, hopefully. We have all the eyeshadows, and as well as all my like brow and stuff. I think for mascara, I'm gonna try this Scandalized one again. I don't love it. I hate the brush actually, but I think I need to just give it a better chance, so we'll throw that in the basket. I was thinking about this prepping for this video, and I kind of want something different for the eyeshadow to play around with, but at the same time I don't. So I'm thinking of these two palettes. So we have the Metamorphic palette by Beauty Bay. It looks like that, and I think it might be a fun palette to play with. And then I have this Illamasqua palette as well, and this one is the I don't know what it's, I think it's just called Movement Artistry palette, and that looks like this. I really love the shades in here. Maybe we'll go for this. This is fun and yet still neutral on the side, so I think we'll go with this one. So that was fairly easy. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I didn't wear makeup every single day this month. I also didn't exclusively use my Shop My Stash. I did shop around and use some other products as well, just because I don't think I chose the best products, in all honesty. Let's go through the stats for last month, which was January. We started off with the MUA Pro Base Jelly Primer. This I used 8 times. For foundation, I did have to mix in a little bit of my lighter shade, so we mixed these together and I used them a total of 8 times. Unfortunately, the concealer, I still really don't like it, and I think it's definitely going to be a declutter when that time comes, and I used this 5 times. For our cream bronzer, the Baby Got Bronze liquid bronzer, I used this a total of 6 times, as well as the cream blush, which is the Myho double-ended brush stick from Temu, again 6 times. The powder I used 8 times, so quite a lot. I did try to use this every time I did my makeup just to get some use out of it, and I still don't love it, but it again, it's not the worst powder I've ever tried. Powder, bronzer, and powder blush I used 7 times each. This is like completely shattered, as you could see over there, and it was really difficult to get a good use out of it because it just picks up so much. I don't know what to do with it at the moment, to be honest with you. But for eyeshadow, again, I only used it 5 times. It was a mistake on my part. It just felt very, very limited in my opinion. I did use the highlighter quite a bit in here though, so that was a plus of having this in. For my mascara, I actually used this 9 times, so I do have like no makeup days, and I tend to just put on my brows and a little bit of mascara. For the lip prep, I didn't really track it, but I used it almost every single day, especially in the evening when I did my skincare. I just put a little bit of this on, as well as when I get ready to do my videos, I usually would put this on. So I didn't today because obviously we're starting something new. Lip liner, I used a total of 8 times as well, and then I don't have the lip tint that I have with me. It's actually in one of my handbags, so I used that a total of 8 times as well. So not a great amount of use. I literally focused more on my project pan than I did this, but it was a weird month for me. There was a lot of like activities and meetings and stuff like that I needed to do, so I would go for makeup that I knew would look absolutely amazing on me, and this isn't all in that category for me. But let's go ahead and apply our new stash onto our faces. I do think that the selection we have this month is a little bit better, but last month was the first time I tried this and I wasn't exactly sure how it would work, and you know, like Project Pan as well, I just panic and then just pick things and I don't think it through. But I tried to think this through yesterday when I was planning this video, so I think a little bit more thought went into this. The powder, however, I'm not entirely sure of. I haven't used it in a really long time, but that's the point of these videos, just to get some use out of all my makeup and not just run and buy some new stuff. Although I do have a new makeup coming up, a new makeup video coming up, but I'm trying not to buy as much makeup like I said before. So starting with primer, this is more high end and it is the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops, and obviously it's the longest name ever, but I don't really get a lot of use out of it. I have this thing in my head, if like products are super expensive, I have to like ration them. What's the point? It's just gonna go out of date if I don't use it. So I'm just gonna pop this all over the face. I don't really love the smell of this. Like I wish it did smell like strawberry, but it really doesn't. But it is very smoothing and moisturizing on the skin. However, it is like summer here now. I don't know if my makeup will hold up underneath, but it is more of like a serum as well. We'll see this month what I think of it and see if we can make some use out of it. I do have the mini size. I think this is 30 mils and I got it in like a little box set when I was in Dubai. And while we wait for that just to settle in a bit, I'm going to put this Roll Baby, it is called Roll Baby, I thought I was making things up, Roll Baby lip oil by Relove by Revolution. I have mine in the scent Papaya. I love the smell, but it smells more like peachy to me. It reminds me of old school lip glosses that we used to all have. I like it. It's very thick, slightly sticky, and it feels more of like a gloss than a lip oil to me, but it is really thick and I do really like it. Moving into foundation, as you saw, this is the PS My Perfect Color Illuminating Foundation. I got mine in the shade Toasty 12 and it's a luminous finish with wild pansy and rose extract. You can actually smell more of like a wild flower scent in there. It's not my favorite scent, but I do really like this foundation. So I'm just going to pop a little bit. I actually did 2 full pumps, which was silly, on the back of my hand. And then I think I took way too much. Just gonna pop this on my skin. Actually looks like a really good color matte. It is really thick. Like you wouldn't think an illuminating foundation would be this thick. Maybe it's actually a little bit too dark. I mean, it is summer. I don't get my face in the sun very often, but you can also see around the edges over there, it does oxidize. But we have a really light concealer, so I think it will work itself out. Just grabbing a foundation brush. I like to spray it with a little bit of setting spray just to moisten things up. And then pick up the rest on the back of my brush just to like get the brush nice and saturated, and then I'm just going to pounce it all over the face. I do really like the finish of this foundation, the luminosity, without feeling too oily on your skin. I think Primark have some good products. I don't know if it's very ethical, but it can give you some really good dupes, put it that way. Really good coverage, as you can see. I think that color is actually all right. A little bit orange, but it did get a toasty shade. So usually that implies that it's quite orange. That was very quick and easy. Moving into concealer, we have the NYX Bear With Me concealer. This was so popular back in the day, like maybe 2-3 years ago, and I struggled to get my hands on it. It was either out of stock or way too extortionately priced. And then I saw it at like a grocery store when I was in France, and I picked it up, and the lighting was weird in there, but I chose the shade Golden, which usually would work for me, but this looks very, very light. So look at that shade. It's too light, but I do like the texture of it because it's more of like a serum type of concealer. So I'm just working it off the back of my hand because it does actually have a pump action little bottle, which I don't love, but it's okay. I'm also just going to put some over my eyelid just to prep that for eyeshadow. I've been loving doing that again lately. I don't use my eyeshadow primer as often, mostly because I'm being lazy and I don't want to like have to do another step in my makeup routine. So it's super light, and I'm just going to take my foundation brush and just blend over the edges of that, and we'll do the same on the other eye. I usually don't do my concealer at this stage. I don't know why I did today. I usually do my bronzer and then blush and then concealer, but I don't know what possessed me to change it up today, but I did. For cream bronzer, we picked this Essence little one here. This is fairly new in my collection, but I haven't got a lot of use out of it. I think I've used it twice, if I'm not mistaken, and I got it last year towards the end of the year, I want to say, and it's the Essence Contouring Duo Stick. I was surprised that they didn't have one of these before because every single brand has one, and they were probably the last to come out with this. But it's super, super deep. Barely have to use any of it, but it does blend out almost to nothing, but it leaves you with like just a slight tint, as you can see over there. But it does blend out pretty easily. So I think I'm gonna have fun trying to like incorporate this in. Essence struggles with foundation products though. I think they struggle with most things. I don't have the best impression of the brand. Like I find even their like eyeshadows are very lackluster. It's more like a money grab. It's easily accessible in South Africa, so I tend to try them out quite a bit. But I know in the UK there's only like maybe one shop that sells it. Even I'm not even sure if that shop still sells it. I think it's called like Wilkinson's or something like that, but I think they're the only place that sells it. But otherwise you have to order online, and it's such a mission that I think there's better brands out there, especially like brands in the UK like Studio London and even 17. They just have a lot better quality things than Essence. Essence doesn't have a lot of inclusive shades as well. They have huge jumps in between it, but Essence and Catrice are one of the two main like brands. I think I've spoken about this before in South Africa that we have access to, so that's why I tend to try a lot of it when I am here. But like I said, in the UK the world is my oyster, and it's a lot more affordable there. For blush, speaking of Catrice, we have this Catrice Blush Affair liquid blush, and it is in the shade Orange Fizz, and it's more like a burnt orange color. Again, these aren't super pigmented, so I'm going to add that much and just grabbing like a little beveled tapered brush. Going to work that into my hand first. It literally is so oily. I don't know if it's oil, but I don't like the texture of this. It's like kind of watery, kind of patchy. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Even the applicator is stupid. I mean, I'm just being rude now. It's pigmented enough if you use it properly. You've got to kind of saturate your brush in it and then take it from there. So that's what we're looking like before powder. All our liquid products are on. It's all right. It's all right. Not the best, but also not the worst. So to powder all this down, we have this Glam Baked Glow setting powder. And this does have like I don't know if I'll be able to show you on camera. I've showed this before, but it does have like a luminosity. You'll see right there where I put it. Very luminous. So I'm going to pop that on my face. I don't know how it's going to look under the eyes, but we're going to see. I do feel like it accentuates like my bigger pores, but it doesn't look terrible. So that eye is with and without the powder. You can see a difference. So it does kind of leave me with a white cast, but I think it's the silver reflect in there that doesn't particularly match my skin tone, but it's not the worst. It's not as white as I've seen some other powders can be. So I think we'll let it pass. For bronzer, we have this Naked palette, which is called Blush. I have mine in the shade Stripped. So it does also have a highlighter and a blush. So I guess if I want to play around with a few things, I can use that. But I think my main focus will be on the bronzer and then also the highlighter if I so wish. So I actually haven't used this brush for ages. I'm using a fan brush and popping that on my cheeks. This is super pigmented, very, very pigmented. It does also have like a, don't know if you'll be able to see, it does have a bit of glow to it. I'm just going to use the highlighter as well with a little baby fan brush and just pop that on the tops of my cheek and in the middle of my nose, and that's it. I really like this. I've always liked it, so I'm glad I've got it back into rotation. For blush, we have the Sephora Colorful Collection. I love this. I haven't used much of it, but I got this again in France and it was super affordable, so I'm very excited to have this back as well. I'm back into like my orangey peachy tone, so it's just intensifying the liquid blush underneath that, so you can see the intensity is different on both cheeks. But I really love this. It's gorgeous. I want to get more colors now that there's a Sephora back in the UK. Perfect. So because we have, I think, an orange blush, I'm not sure which side of the eyeshadow palette we should go for, but I'm feeling we should lean more neutral just because of what we have going on the cheeks. I'm just going to create something and then we'll come back and chat. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should do some purple. I don't know if it will clash. They're complementary colors, so it should work. Okay, I'm gonna use some of the purples. So this is kind of what I created. I've done this look before and it's literally one of my favorites with this palette. I just love the combination of colors. I think it doesn't look too bad with the blush, in my opinion, but let me know what you think. For mascara, we're using the Scandalize by Rimmel and it is a volume on demand. I've never had much luck with this, if I'm being honest, but I'm gonna go ahead and try this. Would I recommend this? Not really. I think there's better mascaras out there. It's also, the formula is quite dry. The wand doesn't really, or the bristles don't really grip to your lashes. So it's kind of like it's just slipping off. So I guess if you layer it enough times, you might get some like spidery lashes, but in general, it's not a good mascara in my eyes. But if you like it, I mean, each to their own, but I really prefer my Maybelline one. Lastly, for lips, like I said before in my little shopping section, this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon lip liner in the shade Chestnut. You'll see all the details over there. And I'm just going to take off this lip thing. It's lasted, I've been sitting here for like half an hour and it's lasted quite a bit because it's so thick. So I'm going to sharpen it first and then align my lips. I do love these lip liners. I have two shades. One is called Plumberry and it's more of like a neutrally purple gray almost. More cool tone than neutral. And then this one. And this one goes with most of my neutral lipstick. So absolutely love that. Then this is Ancient. I don't even know why I've still hung on to it, but it still smells okay. And this is the Revlon Matte Balm. That's it. It's like a lip crayon and it smells like mint and it literally hasn't lost its scent. And I don't know, I just think I should make more use out of it before I need to actually chuck it, because as soon as the scent changes, I definitely will throw it away. But for now, it's like a tinted lip balm. It's very comfortable on the lips, but it does move around quite a bit, so you have to reapply and be careful when you're drinking liquids or from a straw or something like that, because it can end up all over your face. It just migrate. So I'm going to take down my hair quickly and spray some setting spray, and then we'll go ahead and close out this video. So this is the final look with all the products that we picked today. I'm really happy with the outcome. I think it looks really nice, and I think I prefer what we picked this month compared to what we did last month. I definitely made better choices. So yeah, that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you'd like to see me do another look with this palette or see anything else on my channel, and I'll definitely be able to do that. I do have some new makeup coming. It's from the sales rack, so still conscious consumerism. But with that being said, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I will see you all next week. Bye guys.